What's going on, my Wakanda family? It's your boy T'Challa back with another video. I want to first and foremost thank you guys for stopping by to check it out, because you could have been watching anybody else's video, but you were interested and you wanted to check out this video. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Also share these ideas. Remember, these build videos are just to give you guys idea and give you build diversity. Guys, this build was so much fun, and I do play this build in a specific way. This is a build for those that like to team play, where you can put down DPS and you can go ahead and hang back a little bit, but you do have to play it in a specific way to see the best results. This build is great. After the gameplay, I will give you guys the build breakdown as usual, and you know I'm very specific why I do why I use the talents I use, as far as the gear and as far as the skills. So right after the gameplay, we'll get right into the build breakdown. Catch you guys in a second. Alright, starting with our specialist, we are running with Firewall. Reason we're running with firewall is so that we can use the shield and we can use the 10% crit hit damage, the mod or the attachment for the weapon. As you see, I don't have this completely unlocked for my second character. That's why it's not unlocked yet. But this is why we're using it for this 10% crit hit chance, lightweight short grip attachment, and the shield that you get with running firewall. Alright, getting into the build breakdown, we're going to start with the weapons. Now we're using the RPK again. This is the black market RPK. This weapon, like I said, has been going rampant since the last couple updates. It is an LMG, but it shoots like an assault rifle, which is why this is one of the best LMGs out there. Now we got this expertise to level 15. We're doing 149.7k base damage, LMG damage, damage to target out of cover, damage to armor. This is the one I had that I told you guys that I had damage to armor on it, but I wound up grabbing it out of the stash and using it on this character. And the talent we got on this is Ranger. Amplifies weapon damage by 2% for every 5 meters you are away from your target. So again, remember, I call this the Rhino build. This build is about build up. It's about building up and stacking your damage, which is why I play it a certain way. Now the second weapon, we got the military G36. We have this level 15 expertise. It's 107.6k base damage. We got assault rifle damage, health damage, and damage to target out of cover. The talent we're running on this is Optimus. Weapon damage is increased by 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. Another talent that a lot of the community uses. And then we have the Orbit. We're using this. It's not proficient, it's not maxed out. Again, this is just something I had laying in the stash, because on my other builds I do have a maxed out one that is expertise. But this is just something on my second character. Now getting into the build, another staple that I use in most of my solo builds is the Coyote's mask. You get that 15% weapon damage, 6% crit hit chance, 12% crit hit damage, and then we have a 10.1% crit hit damage mod on here. Again, this is my second character, and I'm running a lot of stuff that I'm just picking up, but the gear itself I'm maxing out because you can only run 16 builds on a character. So that's why I'm using the second character. Now I did use the Catharsis mask in the beginning, but I found it better to use the Coyote's mask because the damage output is 10 times more, and we have this level 10 expertise. Alright, the next piece is the chest piece, which is Grupo Sombra, and we have this 2-piece Grupo Sombra with the brand set 15% crit hit damage, 20% explosive damage. Now we got 15% weapon damage, 6% crit hit chance, 12% crit hit damage, and then 11.4% crit hit damage mod. Now we are running the talent Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 25 times. That is 25% weapon damage added once you get this maxed out. So this is again why we call this the build up, the Rhino build, simply because as you see from the talents on the weapon, we got Ranger, which amplifies weapon damage by 2% for every 5 meters you are away from your target. And then we got Optimus. Weapon damage is increased by 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. And then you run down and you look at the talent on the chest piece, Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. And what else buffs that is the Coyote's mask. The Coyote mask gives you that 0 to 15% meter, 25% crit hit damage. 15 to 25 meters, you get that 10% crit hit damage and 10% crit hit chance. And then 25 meters, you get 25% crit hit chance. So you see, everything's about stacking, but we're not done. We still got one more piece. We're running Picar's holster. We have 10% skill haste from the brand set bonus, and then we got armor, crit hit damage, and weapon damage. Knee pads. This is the second Grupo piece. We got weapon damage, crit hit chance, and then 12% crit hit damage. Level 10 expertise. The gloves it must be a given. You got to run contractor gloves so you can get that 10% LMG damage. And then we have weapon damage, 8% damage to armor, and then 12% crit hit damage. And final, we're using the name backpack backbone by the new gear set Lingmo, and this gives you perfectly unstoppable force. Killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 7% for 15 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. Guys, all I got to say is that's 35% extra weapon damage on top of 25% weapon damage on top of another 2% every 5 meters weapon damage depending on your distance from your enemy. So as you see, we're constantly stacking weapon damage on top of weapon damage, which is why I call this the Rhino build. Using a perfectly unstoppable force. You know, rhinos, they trample. So when you get a rhino coming after you, they quick, they big and heavy, but they still do a lot of damage, and this build does a lot of damage. That's why I say it's the type of build that you want to use with a team, because you're a little squishy, but you still do a lot of damage. That's the pieces. Now, the reason I use the shield is just in case you find yourself in one of those moments where you get a bunch of enemies run up on you. You need a little bit of protection. You pop the shield out, and then you take them down. And then I'm using the drone, the assault drone, to distract some of the enemies, to take some of that heat off you if you're running this build solo. Now let's look at some stats. We got 149, 674,000 weapon damage, and then we got 44% crit hit chance, and then we have 168.5% crit hit damage. That's pretty decent for this build, you know, solo build. And as you saw in the gameplay, it was putting in work. So this is the build, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, test it out, switch it up, put in whatever you want to put in. Remember, drop a like, drop a comment, let your boy know what you think. And it's your boy T'Challa. I'll catch you guys in the next video. T'Challa out.